25 cents. That's all it costs to protect your entire garden from aphids, mites, and fungus. And the best part? My grandkids can run right into the garden the moment I finish spraying. No waiting, no worrying, no rushing them back inside. But here's what most people don't know. It's not just about the baking soda. There's a third ingredient, something you already have in your kitchen. And that's the real secret. And you can make this entire recipe sitting down on your porch. No heavy lifting, no complicated steps, just a few minutes, and you're done for the whole week. My grandmother taught me this 50 years ago. My grandmother had a small garden behind her house. Nothing fancy, just tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and some herbs by the back door. But here's the thing. Her garden was always perfect. No holes in the leaves, no wilting, no mysterious brown spots. And I remember asking her once, "Grandma, what spray do you use?" She just smiled and pointed to a little box on her shelf. "Baking soda." "That's it?" I asked. "That's it," she said. Well, almost. She had a recipe, 4 simple ingredients, things she already had in her kitchen. And every week, she'd mix up a batch, spray her plants, and that was that. No trips to the garden center, no expensive bottles with warning labels, no worrying about the grandkids or the dog. Just simple, safe. And it worked. For 50 years, I've used that same recipe. And today, I'm going to share it with you, exactly the way she taught me. Now, if you find this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing. It helps us keep making free videos like this one, and we have a lot more coming. All right, let's get into the recipe. First, a quick note. This recipe works beautifully in zones 3 through 10. That covers most of the United States, Canada, and similar climates. And yes, it works in containers too. So if you're growing tomatoes on your balcony or peppers in pots on your patio, you're covered. The best time to spray: early morning or late evening, when the sun isn't too strong. That way, the mixture has time to dry without burning your leaves. All right, here's everything you need. And I promise, you probably have all of this already. Number 1, water. 1 liter. That's about 4 cups. Number 2, baking soda. 1 teaspoon. Number 3, Castile soap or any mild dish soap. 1 teaspoon. And number 4, this is the secret, vegetable oil. 2 teaspoons. That's it. 4 ingredients. Let me show you how to put them together. Start with 1 liter of water. If you can, use rainwater. It's softer and works a little better. But tap water is perfectly fine too. Pour it into a clean container. I like to use an old juice pitcher, but anything works. Now, add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Level teaspoon, not heaping. Give it a little stir to dissolve. The baking soda is what changes the pH on your plant leaves. Pests and fungus, they don't like that. It disrupts their system. Next, 1 teaspoon of Castile soap. Dr. Bronner's is what I use, but any mild soap works. If you don't have Castile soap, tiny drop of dish soap is fine. Just make sure it's not the antibacterial kind. The soap helps the mixture stick to the leaves. Without it, the spray would just bead up and roll off. And now, the secret ingredient. The one most people skip or don't know about. 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil. Why oil? Here's what my grandmother knew, that science has since confirmed. Insects breathe through tiny holes on their bodies called spiracles. When you add oil to your spray, it coats those little holes. And the insects, well, they can't breathe. It's gentle on your plants, safe for your family, but very effective against soft-bodied pests like aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies. This is the ingredient that takes this spray from okay to amazing. Now, give everything a good shake. You want the oil to mix in well. Pour it into a spray bottle. Any spray bottle works, but I like the ones with a fine mist setting. When you spray, make sure you get the tops of the leaves and the undersides. That's where most pests like to hide. A nice, even, light coating. You don't need to drench the plant, just a gentle mist. Now, let's talk about cost. This entire batch costs about 25 cents, maybe less. Meanwhile, at the garden center, you'll pay $40, $50, sometimes $60 for commercial sprays. And half of them have warning labels that say, keep away from children and pets. 25 cents versus $50. And yours is safer. That's smart gardening. Now, let me explain why this works. In simple terms, baking soda is alkaline. When you spray it on leaves, it changes the pH of the surface. Fungal spores like powdery mildew, they need a certain pH to grow. Change that, and they can't survive. Think of it like this. You're making your plant leaves uncomfortable for fungus to live on. The oil, as I mentioned, blocks the breathing holes on soft-bodied insects. They're called spiracles. It's like putting a tiny pillow over their nose, gentle but effective. And the soap? It's what scientists call a surfactant. It breaks the surface tension of water, so instead of beading up, the spray spreads out and sticks to the leaf. Without soap, half your spray would just roll off onto the ground. Now let's talk about safety, because I know that's important to you. It's important to me too. Baking soda, completely safe. For dogs, for cats, for chickens if you have them, for your grandkids. It's literally the same stuff you put in cookies. Castile soap, also safe. It's plant-based, no harsh chemicals. Some people even use it as baby soap. Your pets can walk through the garden right after you spray, no problem. Vegetable oil, safe. It's cooking oil, nothing more. If your dog licks a leaf, nothing will happen. It's food. Now, here's an important note about bees. The spray is safe for bees, but you should avoid spraying while bees are actively visiting your plants. The wet soap can temporarily affect their wings. So, spray early morning before the bees are out, or late evening, after they've gone home. Once the spray dries, it's completely safe. And your grandkids, they can play in the garden as soon as the spray dries, usually about 30 minutes. No waiting until tomorrow. No keeping them inside all day. A few quick tips on when and how to use this spray. Frequency. Spray once every 7 to 10 days. That's usually enough for prevention. Coverage. Remember, tops and bottoms of leaves. Don't skip the undersides. After rain. If it rains, spray again the next day. The rain washes it off. Storage. You can keep leftover spray in the fridge for about a week. Just give it a good shake before using. Before we finish, 3 bonus tips that my grandmother taught me. Tip 1. Save your soap scraps. You know those little soap scraps the ends of bars that are too small to use. Save them in a jar. Add water, let them dissolve, and use that soap water in your spray. Free soap, zero waste. Tip 2. Always test first. Before you spray a whole plant, test on one leaf first. Wait 24 hours. Make sure there's no reaction. Most plants are fine, but some are more sensitive than others. Tip 3. Sensitive plants. Speaking of sensitive, a few plants don't love this spray. Young tomato seedlings, cucumbers, and some squash can be a bit sensitive. For those, use half the baking soda, or spray in the evening when it's cooler. They'll be fine. You know, my grandmother never had fancy equipment. She never bought expensive sprays from garden centers. She never worried about chemicals or warning labels. She just had her little box of baking soda, some soap, some oil, and a whole lot of wisdom. 50 years later, science has proven what she knew all along. Sometimes the simple solutions are the best ones. Now, when your garden is thriving and your neighbors are battling aphids, they're going to ask you, "What's your secret?" And you can smile and tell them it cost you 25 cents. If this video helped you, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos every week, all designed to help you grow a healthier garden without breaking the bank. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Happy gardening, friends. And remember, smart gardening is easy gardening.